Let's make a model of a BMW car. To make this model, we will be using a cutting mat, A4 size paper, printout, thick 200 GSM paper, glue, ruler, paper cutter, an empty or dried up ballpoint pen, a tweezer and a scissor. We'll start with scoring all the fold lines with the help of an empty or a dried up ballpoint pen. I have seen people using a cutting knife to make the score lines. While using a cutting blade to score the lines, you have to gently apply pressure on the blade so that you are able to cut only halfway depth of the paper. Score lines are not visible. If we are unsure whether we have scored the fold line or not, we can rub our finger over the fold line and we can feel the groove, means we have scored it. After scoring, we will cut out all the cut lines with the help of a paper cutter or a scissor. After using the paper knife for some time, the edge gets blunt. So what we will do, we will remove the back side, and with the help of the back side, we will break the tip of the blade. Though this fragment of the blade has become blunt, still it can't be left lying around. It might injure us or the garbage man. So what I usually do, I wrap it up into a waste page and seal it properly with the help of a glue. I found a template of this beautiful model on a Netherlands site. I'll give the link in the description box below. And from there you can directly download the template and make this beautiful car yourself and also color it as per your choice. A piece of advice that while making this beautiful car, I had used around 200 or 250 GSM paper. It was a very thick one. I found it very difficult to fold it. So I would advise to use up to or say around 160 GSM paper. This paper model can be used in the school for some school project. It is really very amazing and magical to see a simple two-dimensional paper turn into a beautiful three-dimensional model by simple folding technique. It is this wonderful quality of paper folding that has attracted me into the world of paper modeling. Hope it will amaze and enchant you as well. In paper modeling, the property of the glue is very important. The glue, when applied, shouldn't warp or twist the paper. And at the same time, it shouldn't be too quick to dry or take too long to dry. I usually favor PVA glue. It is said that an average person can concentrate for only 20 minutes at a time. So I'll tell you an anecdote of Mullah Nasruddin after every 20 minutes. If you are trying to replicate this model, 20 minutes must have passed, and so it is time for an anecdote. The name of the anecdote is Falling on Deaf Ears. Mullah Nasruddin was at the tea house one afternoon when Arif the Hakim walked in. "How are you, Mullah? I hope you and your family are well," Arif asked politely. "I am fine, thanks, Arif, but I am worried about my wife, who seems to have become very hard of hearing. Is there any cure for her problem?" asked Mullah Nasruddin. "Well, some degree of age-related hearing loss is normal," Arif said. "If you bring your wife to my dispensary, I can check her hearing and prescribe the necessary treatment. But before you do that, you can try this simple test. When you go home this evening, call out to your wife from the gate and see if she hears you. If not, then try speaking to her from the front door and keep reducing the distance until she responds. This way you will be able to gauge how serious her hearing deficiency is." Mullah Nasruddin thanked the doctor for the free medical advice and headed home. Calling out to Fatima from the gate in the front yard, Nasruddin said loudly, "I am home, dear. What are we having for dinner?" Getting no reply, Mullah Nasruddin opened the front door and yelled, I am home, dear. What are we having for dinner? Still getting no response, Nasruddin pushed open the kitchen door and repeated loudly, What's for dinner, dear? Fatima, who was stirring a large pot on the stove, turned to face her husband. Are you deaf, Nasruddin? She said angrily, wiping her hands on her apron. For the third and last time, I repeat, we are having fish stew and pilaf followed by apricot halwa for dessert. So it was not Fatima, but Mullah Nasruddin who had become hard of hearing. We still have some time left, so I think we have got time for another anecdote, though a small one. Mullah Nasruddin was an educated person in the village where many were illiterates. One fine day, his neighbor approached him and requested him to write a letter for his relative. Mullah Nasruddin asked where he wants to send the letter. On hearing the address, Mullah Nasruddin started to object strongly that he won't go that far. To which the neighbor explained that he just wants him to write a letter and not deliver it. To this, Mullah Nasruddin said that his handwriting is so bad that people have to call him to read the letters written by him. Hope you like the anecdotes of Mullah Nasruddin. Whenever I'll remember, I'll tell a joke or an anecdote of Mullah Nasruddin or Akbar and Birbal or other famous characters. Make one yourself and show your creativity side. And as for always, thanks for watching with interest.